to do that. All right, guys, I'm going to pull my notes up. I started writing notes for this an hour ago, and I realized, wow, I actually have a lot to say about the end of the month. So the end of the month, it obviously happens every month. And I feel like if you can get into a system of this, it goes really, really smoothly, and you can kind of optimize what you get done at the end of the month. So rather than running around like a chicken with your head chopped off because our month is slowly coming to an end, you kind of have a system of what you do. And you'll get to a point where, like, I wrote all this up in the last hour, right? This isn't like a checklist that I necessarily keep, but for me, I've been going through end of the month for years. And so it's just kind of things in my mind that I'm like, oh, I should check on that. Oh, I should check on that. So if you don't have a pen and paper, grab one or grab your phone. And I'm just going to start going over these things. So first of all, we are in Magic Week. I know it's summer. It's July. We got a lot of sleepy people, hence there being 11 of us on this call right now. But it is still Magic Week, and a lot happens at the end of the month because humans are natural procrastinators. So if you've been going through this month like, wow, it's really slow. Yes, same Z's, but the end of the month is where you're going to pull probably some just crazy stuff out of your booty. Like, where did that even come from? People from the woodwork, because it's the end of the month and that's just what happens. People will be watching you the whole month and be telling you they're interested. And then for whatever reason, the 27th rolls around and they're ready. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Number one, I want you to check your reports. Casey did a training on this yesterday, like very basic touching on how to get to your reports in the back office. I want you to look for a really specific one though. Okay, so what I've been noticing going through my back office, looking at other people's back offices, is there's missing volume. What do I mean by missing volume? You can see missing volume because when you go to your little overview square, the black square in your back office, you can click to last month and you can see your total OV at the end of last month versus what your OV is right now. If your number right now is lower than what your number was last month, it means you have missing volume that you had last month that you don't have this month. This would be what I would consider your low-hanging fruit to start on with the beginning of this week. Meaning, I want you to identify where is that missing volume? Where did it go? Who has not ordered? And I want you to reach out to those people. If it's an ambassador, they should definitely be commission qualified. So let's check in on them for that. If it's a customer, this is a really great opportunity for you to follow up with them because it's the last week of the month. So you can say, hey, I just wanted to check in. It's the very last week of the month. How are you liking your products? It looks like you didn't have an auto ship go out this month. Did you know that we have a rewards program for setting that up? Like, you can talk to them. Can we get you another order in? It's a great time because there's still basically 7 whole days in the month for you to get those orders in to catch up from your missing volume. So I want you to open up your back office. You're going to go to business resources. You're going to go to quick reports, and you're going to go to auto ship quick reports. Within that column, within that area in your back office, there's a column that is called personal volume. It's all the way. I think it's the one all the way to the very, very right. You can click on personal volume, and it's going to put it in order of the people who have volume and who don't. If you double click that, I think it'll bring all of the zeros to the top, meaning people who have 0 personal volume right now. Okay. I want you to start going through those people. When you look, you can actually see their last auto ship volume. So you can see like, oh, did they order last month? Yeah, it looks like they had 40 PV last month, but they don't have any PV this month. So let's reach out to that person. Now, if this person is a customer, I would highly suggest that you know what the heck you're talking about when you message them. So that might mean that you're clicking on their profile and you're looking at their actual order. This is something that you might want to put a little bit more time into rather than just willy-nilly texting them like, hey, it looks like you had 40 PV last month and 0 PV this month. Why haven't you ordered? Instead, you could be like, hey, it looks like you ordered the greens and the peach calm last month. How are you liking that? Have you been mixing them together? That's really popular. Were you running out? Can we get you a new order? Make it a little bit more personal, especially especially if it's a customer. Okay. So it's the first thing I want you to do. For most of you guys, especially the ones I'm seeing on this call, you guys should be able to do this in like a single day. Sit down on Monday, if you take tomorrow off, or get started tonight, make a list of the people that you're going to reach out to. We have all of their contact information, you guys, their number. Alger, did you have a question? Or are you just waving? Hi. All of their information is in the back office. So if this is not someone that you talk to, right, this is where I see a lot of people not sending the messages. They're like, well, I didn't sign that person up. That's okay. Get their number first. Look and see who their sponsor is, right? Like if Casey was going through the back office and she saw that one of my people has their auto ship off and she knows Mandy works her business every single day, rather than her randomly shooting that person the message, she would probably reach out to me and be like, hey, I just wanted to check in on Sarah. Is Sarah ordering? What's going on with Sarah, right? I do this with Marissa a ton. Marissa Winterton and I have worked together forever. I always reach out to her and I'll be like, hey, here's a list of people that I noticed don't have orders in this month. Have you talked to them? But make a list of those people, reach out to them. Let's try and get back some of that missing volume. That's the first thing that we're going to do. The second thing that I want you to go to is your team rank report in your back office. This is also under quick reports. You're going to be able to look in there and see your ambassadors on your team who are close to re-ranking or ranking for the first time. Okay, this means that you'd be able to go into your back office and see someone like Bob Joe, who was pro last month, and this month he's not pro yet, but he's only an 140 OV away, right? Bob Joe Bob, whatever I said, he might be really new and not even understand that he's 140 PV away from re-ranking. So I would reach out to Bob Joe and be like, hey man, you're only 140 PV away from re-ranking. Did you know that? Question mark. A lot of you guys on my team know. Multiple times throughout the month, I send you messages like that. Hey, you're only this far away from re-ranking, or hey, you're only this far away from hitting this, right? I do that because I want to make sure everybody's plugged in to where their numbers are at. And sometimes when you're newer, that can fall through the cracks. So I would go in and check on who is close to promoting or re-ranking, identify them, and help them. You guys, help them win. If they win, you win. Okay. Casey says, I don't know if that is a automatic report in the back office case. But if you guys need one and it's not, we can get one made for you. There's also something called, actually, I will just get this made for our team and Casey can have her liaison make one too, and then we can go through it. There's also something called a low hanging fruit report or like a potential volume report. Our liaisons put that together for us. And so it literally codes, whatever. It gives us different colors of categories people fall into who are like 1, 2, or 3 orders away from their promotion. So I will have one of those put together for us. But anyways, you want people to win. Maybe they need a little bit of help following up. Sometimes people just need you to tell them what to do. Okay. Sometimes people need that, especially if this is like their first or second end of the month. They might be like, what do I even do right now? Okay. Casey says all the time, she's this type of person. Give her rubber to put her road on and she's there. I think that's the saying. But if you kind of just leave her floating around, she's like, like, where do I start? Right. So some people are like that. They just need you to say, hey, here's your end of the month checklist. Did you know you're only 2 people away? Let's follow up today. Okay. But identify your people, help them with that. Third, I want you to get plugged into an opportunity call this week. I want you to either plan your own op call if you don't have one that you know you can invite to. I'm going to be doing one next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or you can locate others. We need to get them uploaded into the Q Mafia page for this week. But I want you to identify an op call and be inviting this whole week to that op call. I know it's the end of the month. The person who comes to that op call might not sign up in July. But what you do right now, the people who enroll at the end of the month, the seeds that you plant at the end of this month, those are all going to be indicators for how your August is going to go. So if you take your pedal off the metal, the end of this week, you are going to be starting slower in August. versus if you pack this last week of the month in with invites to op calls, get a ton of potentials going, you're going to be starting your August off on the right foot. So yes, we want to be closing potentials. We want to be following up with potentials. I'm going to cover that next, but you need to make sure that you are planting new seeds for August. If we're always in the mode of follow up at the end of the month, it means we kind of we're a little bit behind actually when you start the next month off because you haven't done anything for that whole last week. So now you're starting with the invites in August and you really might not see any fruit until that second or third week of the month. So make sure that you are plugged into an opportunity call for this last week. Again, I'm doing one on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or host your own. We have a lot of leaders on here, but be inviting to that and duplicate that down to your team. So if I were you, I would identify a call, right? Like, okay, I'm going to invite to Mandy's call next Friday. If you have a builder, pro, executive, even one other person on your team, I want you to go to that person who's working and say, hey, let's set a goal for this week. We're going to invite this many people to this op call and hold them accountable each day. Hey, I sent all my reach outs today. Screenshot them, whatever you want to do. Maybe you're hosting power hours. I know Rachel and Jessica's team, they're doing weekly power hours right now. This would be something great to hold your people accountable for also inviting to that opportunity call. And then be doing your final touches. Okay, so final touches of the month means you're following up with people who you have been talking to. I did all of these follow-ups for myself yesterday on my car ride home. I basically went down my entire potentials list that I have for Q, and I followed up with everyone on it. I went to everybody on my potentials list on Instagram. I liked all of their top photos. I left a comment. I responded to a story, and I sent a message basically touching base. Hey, that's what my message actually says a lot. Hey, I just wanted to touch base. I know we were talking a little bit. I'm back from my family vacation. I'd love to get you going. Were you still interested? Or are we still on for Monday? I have 2 people signing up in the next couple of days, right? Follow up with your people with your final touches. If you have volume in your back office, you guys, this is the time to leverage it because you want to be placing that volume by the end of the month. So if you have someone who is sitting on the fence and I'm going to use Rachel. I don't even know if this applies, but let's say Rachel has 2 people that she signed up this month in her back office. So she has 2 ambassadors and she has a couple people who are sitting on the fence that she wants to sign up. She could go to those people and say, hey, I know we've been talking. Don't want to put any pressure on you. If you're not ready, it's totally fine. But I am in this really unique position where I could maybe help give you a head start towards these bonuses because I have some volume in my back office that I need to place by, give a date. I have to place it by Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you want to say. Don't have it be the last day of the month. You will be scrambling. I would say Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, but this is the time to be leveraging that volume because you want to place it before the end of the month. Otherwise, it freezes the 1st through the 6th. Okay, if you have more questions on leveraging, I know a lot of you guys are new, send me a message, we can talk about it. This would apply to you if you have ambassadors that are within their 30 days that you haven't placed yet, then you have leveraging volume. I'm going to move on now. So the other thing, I messaged Casey this morning. I said, what do you want me to touch on this call? She said, I want you to talk about the fact that Jenna and Brittany haven't even been here a whole year. Okay. So I started thinking about this, you guys, because again, we're well aware that it is July, the summer after a pandemic, and everybody is just straight party mode right now. Okay. You 14 on here, actually, which includes me. So 13, y'all are the ones who are here for it. And all of your faces are the ones popping up on all these training calls. Just know, number 1, we see you, homie. Number 2, pushing through this season is so important because Jenna Tomer, Brittany Hitch, they're amazing, but there's more of them out there. Okay, you have no idea who is going to join your team in these next weeks or months. And Jenna and Brittany haven't even been here a whole year. They signed up in like October and November, you guys. Okay, which is when we see this big pickup in our seasons again. This entire business is seasons. There are busy seasons, there are slow seasons. If you don't put in the work in the slow seasons, if you don't do the messages, if you don't plant the seeds, if you stop reaching out, you are potentially not reaching out to your Brittany Hitch or your Jenna Tomer who might sign up with you in October. Okay. Sometimes people need time. It took me 7 months of watching my friend do network marketing, of seeing her posts, of being intrigued by her posts. I told her no multiple times before I signed up to start this business the first time around. 7 months, you guys. That's like a very long, that's how long I've been at Q. Okay. So there are people who are watching you right now that just need a little bit more time. But if you're not sending the messages and putting in the work during this slow season, you're not going to pick them up in our busier months again, September, October, when things start happening. Everything that you're doing right now, you are going to see flourish in your business like 60 to 90 days from now. That is the truth. All of the work that you put in right now. And let me give you another one. There's a lot of people who are signed up for this business that are MIA right now. Okay. Guess what? That means when you're doing your posts, when you're doing your businesses, when you're doing your reach outs, you're actually going to stand out because there are a lot of people who work in this industry that are not putting in that work right now. So versus a typical day in April, right, when everybody's here for it and things are exploding, you are one of hundreds of people posting about your business. But right now, you might catch somebody's eye because the normal people who would be posting are not. But you are. The normal people who are not messaging right now, but you still are, right? Do you get my point? So this is one of those seasons. I want you to also remember that you set the expectation for your team. Okay. I know it's so hard, right? Like I was just on vacation with my family. I get it. Nobody's asking you to not have any fun or to just work and not enjoy your summer, your time with your kids. But just know, even if you have one person on your team, you have a team and you set the expectation. If you want your team to come to these trainings, you have to be here. Okay. I know there's so many people who are like, oh, but the recordings are so much easier. The truth about recordings is most people will never watch them. That's why a lot of times we don't even record. Like we've gotten in a habit of doing it now, but like at my old business, I almost never recorded things because if people aren't on the call live, the chances of them actually watching the recording are very, very, very slim. If you want your people to watch the training, you have to be here. You need to be here, prioritize it, prioritize holding them accountable, get into your team chats like what you see Casey and I do and drop a million reminders of it happening, right? You need to set the example. If you want your team to be doing power hours, you need to host them. You got to put it out there. Even if you put it out there, you guys, I put this training out for almost 400 people. This training and this notification, almost 400 people were notified of this training. Look at the 14 of you here. You might put out a power hour invite to your team of 10 and one person might show up. Do it anyways. You're going to find your solid 14, like you guys on this call, in this season. The people who are really here for it, they're gonna follow suit. But if you don't give them an example to follow, they're not going to know what they're supposed to be doing. So hold yourself to that higher caliber as a leader, as someone who has the long-term vision, right? Like I look at everything we're doing right now, like, okay, when October rolls around, things are going to be popping. And the people who were here for these trainings that I'm making time to do, the people that are doing the power hours, the people that are putting in the work right now, those people's businesses is going to explode. And I don't say that from a guessing standpoint. This is my 4th year going through summertime, going through a summer season. This is going to be my 4th year heading into a holiday season. I have watched these seasons repeat themselves like clockwork. Okay, this is just what happens. You put in the work now, you are going to see it tenfold come September, October, November. Then it's going to slow down again, but then you're going to do the same thing. And then you're going to see it pick back up in January, February, March, and April, right? Seasons. It's a roller coaster. It's cyclical. But be setting the example. Okay, so I have a challenge. I dropped this in some of my team chats, but in case you aren't in my specific team chats, I want you guys to get up a post tomorrow. Okay, I want you to get up a post about your business specifically. So here's the criteria that I want you to touch on in your post. Everybody's going to look different. If you need to write a rough draft and send it to me or Casey, do it. We'll help you proofread it. We'll help you get it ready to get posted up. But I want you to write a post about your business. I want you to touch on being excited, being mind blown, right? A lot of my posts are basically to the tone of, oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. Oh my gosh, I'm just so thankful. Oh my gosh, this is insane, right? I want you to have that kind of tone to your post. I want you to talk about either your income or the size of your team. Let me clarify on this. If you're making money at Q, $250 a month, $750 a month, $1,700 a month, whatever it is, I want you to talk about what that's doing for your family. And I want to remind you, you do not need to be making Brittany Hitch money, Casey Wheeler money, Mandy Clance money for this to be an impact. In fact, most people look at what Casey and Brittany and all of them make and feel like they're blowing smoke up their butt and it's not even real. Okay. Most people's lives would be changed by having an extra $250, $700, $1,700 a month. So I want you to talk about what that is doing for your family. Are you making $250 a month here? What does that do for you each month? How has that been helpful? You don't need to write a novel about it. Just touch on the fact that like you're so thankful that this money has helped your family do this. And if you don't feel confident talking about that $250 or whatever, don't say a number. Just talk about what it's done for you. Okay. If you haven't made any money yet, I want you to talk about either someone else on your team. So talk about someone like me or Marissa or Casey, Karina, Mary Jane, Ansley, people who are on your team and your upline who are making that impactful money. Or I want you to talk about your team size. I'm going to expand on this because I think this goes over people's heads sometime. I have a few people on my team who have not hit a promotion yet, but they have a team size of like 40 because of placements. They have 40 people working on their team or 20 people working on their team. And they have not necessarily hit a promotion yet because they're working on those outside points. But they still have a team of 40 people working. Okay. I just helped someone within my organization do a post about this yesterday. She said all the same things. She talked about the business being mind blowing. She talked about the other things I'm going to mention in a second. But rather than talking about income, she talked about how many people were on her team. She already has 40 ambassadors working on her team and over 50 customers. Those were her numbers. Okay. You guys, that's impressive. What does that tell people? It tells people she's not the only one. She has all these people, close to 100 people total within her organization who are on her team. She didn't have to mention money, right? She mentioned social proof. Okay. So if you're not making money yet, but you're in this situation where you have placements, talk about social proof, the social proof of how many ambassadors are on your team, how many customers are within your organization. If you don't know those numbers, pull up your visual tree in your back office underneath business resources. There's visual tree. Make sure you click placement instead of enrollment. You can click in the top left corner between enrollment and placement. Count them up, guys. How many ambassadors do you have? And then click on adding the customers. How many customers? The customers are the red and orange dots. Okay, count it up. Do a post on that. I also want you to talk about our product launch. Okay, we are launching an insane amount and caliber of product lines in September. You guys, we're rolling out with liquid collagen that is superior to like any other collagen on the market. Multiple kinds, one for metabolism and one for anti-aging. We're rolling out with terpenes, which is something that the marijuana industry itself has not even nailed down yet. We're literally pioneering terpenes for the most part. We're coming out with kids pixie sticks, right? You don't, sorry. You don't need to necessarily talk about the products in detail, but I want you to hype up the product launch. My company is about to be releasing something in September that's literally never been seen before in the network marketing industry. The innovation of this company blows my mind, right? I didn't even mention Pixie Stick vitamins. I talked about us innovating a whole new product line, okay? New product launch. I want you to be excited about that. And lastly, within your post, I want you to talk about how excited you are, how this could change other people's lives. So I just did a post somewhat like this yesterday. So if you go onto my Instagram, if you need some kind of like writer's block inspiration, I did a post like this yesterday where I touched on pretty much most of these things. Actually, I think all of them. And I also have another post on my page where I'm in a swimsuit in Florida, and you can click on that. And that one also mentions stuff like this if you just need some ideas. But I want you to write up a post, give us a rough draft, send it to me, send it to Casey. And I want you to post it tomorrow with a picture. It's the beginning of the week. It's a Sunday. People are going to be scrolling online. People are going to like it. And then guess what you're going to do on Monday? You're going to message all the people. Okay? You're going to give yourself momentum to start your week off right, of getting some messages out to people who are liking that post. We have messages for that in the message cheat sheet, which is in the Q Mafia files section. We have a little beginner's guide. There's message cheat sheets in there for you. And there's a specific one for reaching out to people who like your post. But I want you to get the post up and I want you to message the people. If you're on my team, we have a giveaway going for this challenge. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is our book club. So we are starting a book club August 1st. We actually have a couple leaders within our team who are stepping up to host this for you guys. Rachel, who is executive, Jen Lewis, who is executive, Jennifer I can't pronounce her, Olasak, who is executive, and then Carolina, who is also on our team working towards going builder. So they have stepped up to literally host this for you guys through the month of August. We're reading a book called The Game of Networking. It's raved. I read a bunch of reviews online about this book specific. They said it's kind of like how to win friends and influence people, but specifically for the network marketing industry. Okay, it's by Rob Sperry. 4 meetings once a week through the month of August. You're basically just reading the book and meeting up to talk with people. I would highly, highly encourage you guys to participate in this. The thing about a slow season is it's like off season for football, okay? During the actual football season, they practice less than they do in their off season because they have more time. Okay. When you're in the middle of an actual sports season, right, you have games. Like I know for my kids, when they were playing T-ball this year, as soon as games started, we had less practices because we had more game time, right? So a majority of their time playing during their season was spent in game time. But when you're in off season, you practice way more because you have more time to fine tune your skills. We are in our off season right now. We're in our off season. There has never been a better time for you to fine tune your skills, pour into your personal development, really get everything primed up for when we go back into a busy season. A personal development book club like this is something that I think most people could benefit from. And let me just tell you, your girl does not enjoy reading, and I'm still doing this because I know that I need to do it, even for my own personal development, having done this for 4 years, you guys. So I would highly suggest you doing it. You can actually get the book for free through Prime Audible. You can get like this free you guys know what I'm saying, and I can't think of the word, trial period, and you get a free book, and then you can cancel it if you want to not pay for it after. You can also get it on the Kindle for like $2.99, and I think the actual book itself is like $11. So it's really not expensive. We're only meeting 4 times once a week, and you're just going to be reading the book, but it's going to pour into fine-tuning your skills during this slower season. So we're revved up and ready to rock and roll, because I'm telling you right now, convention is going to spark a massive wave of momentum, you guys. Like the more we're learning about it, the more we're getting trickle down info, Casey and I, every time I'm just like, this is going to go crazy. Like this is going to go wild, you guys. I would not be surprised if Casey either goes Ruby or gets damn near during convention. Okay. Brittany's looking at going Royal Diamond during convention. If there was ever a time, by the way, that's $25,000 a month that Casey's looking at possibly hitting, you guys. It's going to spark huge, 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 huge momentum. So all of this right now, we're in this prep season. It's off season. We're like getting ready for kickoff at the Super Bowl. That is what's coming at convention. And I know most of you guys were not at convention in February. So I just want to stress, when we had convention in February, it went boom, so much momentum, not just in that month. It carried through the next couple of months. And for us, that's prepping right before the holiday season, which is retail prime time for the entire year. We are launching multiple product lines right before retail prime time of the entire year. Okay, so be doing all of the things, keep doing the messages, keep planting the seeds. You might not get someone right now, but you're gonna get them in fall when things pick back up. Do the book club, pour into yourself. You guys are already on these trainings. Keep showing up like this. I cannot stress enough. And I said this every December for the last couple of years. The people who pour into these slower seasons are the people who see it tenfold in their business when the busy season comes back because they're ready. They've educated themselves and they've planted so many seeds and have this huge harvest. Okay. I'm super proud of you guys for coming. It really, like, truly, Casey and I, we look at the names who are on these trainings. We see you guys here. It means a ton to us. And I'm so, so excited to move into convention season. I will talk to you guys soon. If you need information on book club, let me know. But there's a post on Q Mafia. You can drop a little emoji and I'll add you to the chat. Bye, guys.